This is Billy Batson. Make sure you make him feel at home.
This means Billy!
What is happening?
I'm an idiot.
The initial movie, Shazam, served as our introduction to the character Billy Batson, also known as Shazam. It enjoyed moderate success, largely due to the newness of it. The film offered a fresh perspective on the superhero genre, blending elements of comedy, heart, and adventure. Its talented cast, including Zachary Levi as the eponymous hero, and Asher Angel as his alter ego Billy Batson, delivered standout performances. It was a sweet concept that was a bit different than other releases at the time, especially from DC. But that concept came across as a gimmick, and gimmicks can only be used so many times.
There's already a superhero with a red suit with a lightning bolt on it. Aquaman is literally huge and he's so manly. And Batman is so cool. And I'm just me.
Sequels to successful movies can sometimes struggle to live up to the expectations set by the original, especially if the sequel fails to bring something new or fresh to the table. It seems that this was the case with Shazam 2. The initial concept had lost its novelty, and the movie failed to evolve into a strong replayable franchise. Instead, it seems as though the character's success was limited to a one-off movie, because it lacked the long-lasting value necessary to sustain a sequel. It fell into the trap, also, of feeling too familiar or repetitive. Another thing that did not help this was the marketing of the movie that turned off so many people. One of those things being the overabundance of other Shazams. It honestly came across like Power Rangers, or some kind of Power Rangers type deal, which looks very silly. Who are all these people, and why should we care? While the ending of the first movie was heartwarming, the introduction of powers to all the characters... Shazam! washboard abs. Question, in their adult form, if they marry someone who's their age in their adult form, is it still, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that would certainly complicate things. You know, people would freaking go to jail and not even understand why. Like, my brother over here, come on. What is he gonna say when he's been dating someone for a while and then he changes back into a freaking minor? Whoops. Anyway, like I was saying, the introduction of the powers to all the characters, it was very contrived, and the majority of the first movie had focused on Billy Batson's journey to becoming a hero and gaining powers. So suddenly, to suddenly have all his friends or his foster siblings gain powers too felt like a cheap ploy to set up a superhero team, which honestly seemed like it just came out of nowhere. It was eerily reminiscent of that very annoying scene in Thor: Love and Thunder, when Thor temporarily gave all the kids his power just so they could all feel included because he couldn't handle the situation by himself. It felt like a moment for the kids in the audience, like, oh my god, see guys, imagine if Thor let you be like him and fight alongside him. Ugh. Gross. Imagine having Spider-Man in his first movie get his powers, and then by the end, his friends have Spider-Man powers too, and now we're gonna watch them all in their adventures. You see where I'm going with this. Divvying up the attention and the value of the superhero's powers amongst many characters who have almost identical powers or who are dressed similarly can dilute their impact and weaken the storytelling. This is a risky move, and in my opinion, it was a misstep for Shazam 2. While it might have been faithful to the comics, there's a reason why Shazam was on a top-tier DC superhero franchise in the first place. His character feels like a one-off, and how he was represented in the movie felt like a one-off, and it worked well for that. Coming out, however, with a Shazam 2, especially in light of an era where there's an oversaturation of superhero movies, and not bringing anything particularly new to the table, just felt like a waste of time, or a very obvious cash grab. In so saying, another reason this could be is because there is an element of what people call superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue refers to the feeling of exhaustion or boredom that some people experience when there's an oversaturation of superhero movies, TV shows, and other media and popular culture. With the rise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and other superhero franchises over the past decade, some people may feel like there's simply too many superhero stories being told, especially in a shorter space of time, and that they all begin to feel repetitive or formulaic. This can lead to a decrease in interest or excitement for new superhero movies or shows, and a desire for more variety in storytelling. We just had a Black Adam movie which did okay, but now we have another superhero, one that many don't even know about if they haven't seen the first movie or read the comics, and to the general audience it just looks like a copy-paste. It really would have made more sense to have a movie starring both both Black Adam and Shazam, tying the two characters together in a shared universe. This would have made it easier for audiences to get invested in both characters and would have created anticipation for both the Black Adam movie and the Shazam sequel. The studios may have wanted to capitalize on the star power of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who played Black Adam, but by not making him a critical part of the first Shazam movie, they missed an opportunity to tie the two movies together and build excitement for the sequel.
Oh well.
The other issue is that DC is a mess.
He's the Man of Steel. All he has one hand on Batman's esophagus, the story is over. So they spend a lot of money kidding themselves. Stop rinsing these superheroes. By the time we get through, they're all going to have the same color hair. They're all going to have to do the same stuff. What's unusual about them?
The success of Marvel's expansive universe has led the audience to have expectations for continuity, and DC has struggled to deliver in this aspect. The perceived lack of continuity has made viewers hesitant to invest in DC movies, especially after James Gunn's arrival and the subsequent reset of various aspects. The lack of trust has contributed to box office disappointments for DC movies, including Shazam 2. The marketing for Shazam 2 was also messy, which further compounded the issue.
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow! There's already a superhero with a red suit with a lightning bolt on it.
All these factors may have led to the movie's underperformance at the box office. Despite having a budget of $125 million, the movie only received $66.4 million in the box office profits during its opening weekend. And similar can be said for Ant-Man: Quantumania, when you factor in their usual projections for such movies, on top of the marketing costs. Then it makes you wonder, what is the solution to all of this aside from superhero genres just going away? Well, for one, they definitely need to diversify the superhero genre. While superhero movies have been dominating the box office for the past decade, there are still many different types of stories that can be told within the genre. Studios can look to explore different subgenres such as horror, comedy, or romance, or focus on lesser-known, underrepresented characters to bring fresh perspectives and stories to the genre. An example of this was Brightburn. Truly evil take on the child version of Superman. What would have happened if Kal-El's parents didn't raise him to be so nice? Some of my most memorable superhero movies were Chronicle, Hancock, and a movie from 2018 called Higher Power. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this last movie was ass and the acting was total cringe, but the story was chef's kiss and it was a totally new concept.
What did you do to me?
Now you see how this works, Joe. The angrier you get, the more you unlock.
The ending was crazy. Or how about the movie Lucy with my girl Scarlett Johansson? Oh my god, I love this movie. It was an interesting twist on the superhero genre, or not really superhero, but superpower. Or what about the movie Limitless? Or the unbreakable Bruce Willis franchise? A movie whose twists I totally didn't see coming. Honestly, these studios need to stop. They all need to stop with the nostalgia baiting and once again learn how to take creative risks, like the people who made Unbreakable and Split, and that whole franchise did. Most of these superhero movies nowadays keep endlessly falling into the trap of formulaic superhero movies because everyone is creatively bankrupt and does not want to take risks on trying new things like they did in the past, or for some reason don't want to use color in their movies anymore. Take a movie like the masterpiece Everything Everywhere All at Once, a highly acclaimed film that has received praise for its innovative storytelling, unique visual style, and strong performances from its cast. The thing that made this movie so unique and ultimately led to its success were, first of all, the multi-dimensional storytelling, which was just madness. The movie weaves together multiple timelines and realities, exploring the intersecting lives of different versions of its protagonists. This non-linear approach to storytelling keeps the audience engaged and intrigued as they piece together the different threads of the story. This was also supported by the strong performances of the cast, especially Michelle Yeoh. She killed it as the protagonist. It was very eye-popping and had a unique visual style. This was more of a multi-dimensional or multiverse movie than the actual multiverse movie, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. The stunning visuals blend together different styles and different genres, including science fiction, martial arts, comedy. The special effects were well executed, and the use of color and lighting helps create a distinctive and immersive world. See? Color! Remember what that is, Marvel? In DC? And it was more than just the visuals. It had no nostalgia baiting. It provided emotional depth that many modern movies lack today. And despite the film's fantastical elements, it also explores universal themes such as family, grief, self-discovery. The emotional depth of the story helps to ground the movie and make it relatable to the audience, and it increases the watchability, the rewatchability of it. It's a movie that you watch and you tend to want to go back and watch several times over. And notice that in the movie, whenever there's serious issues or moments, it's not undermined by gratuitous comedy like Marvel likes to do with its movies as of late. While it can still be comedic, the seriousness of the movie and the seriousness of the scene being portrayed at that time still has that weight to it. So when you're crying or you're feeling a certain emotion, it's not just taken away or just doused out by some stupid comedic line that's not even funny. Overall, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a movie that pushes the boundaries of traditional storytelling and delivers a compelling, visually stunning, and emotionally resonant experience.
See, I don't think you understand the meaning of that word.
In that way, this movie gave something to people that they've not experienced before. This movie was artistic, but not just for the sake of being artistic. It was memorable, and it touched many people, including me. Superhero movies need to learn to do that again, and get to a point where they employ different storytelling techniques, explore unconventional themes, or take their franchises in bold new directions, similar to what Amazon series The Boys has been doing. Or even Invincible, another superpower, amazing work of art. With everyone trying so hard to be like everybody else and trying so hard to one-up each other, there seems to be not any passion in making these movies anymore, and the audience can feel that. Trying too hard to tie movies into one another can also be grating on the audience, especially if it's done very haphazardly, like DC has done. Shazam 2 really did not need to be made or released. There wasn't any other point aside from them already having spent the money making it, and they wanted to kind of recoup some of their investment. In my opinion, the movie was already dead in the water. Hopefully, if it doesn't become more popular later, the DC can gain some respect and actually commit to a universe if they choose to. Again, for the umpteenth time. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.